I was once a student, eager to learn, to fill my cup with knowledge, but I didn't realize how full my cup already was. The path to wisdom, I thought, was a straight line, a journey with a clear destination. How wrong I was. It was spring when I set out, cherry blossoms swirling in the air like snow. Each step I took, I felt myself growing more important, more worthy of the master's time. The monastery stood atop a misty mountain, ancient and serene. Stone steps wound their way up, disappearing into the mist. As I climbed, my mind raced with questions I was sure would impress the master. The higher I climbed, the more my chest swelled with pride. At the top, I paused, catching my breath and taking in the view. As I approached the gates, a flicker of doubt crossed my mind, but I pushed it aside, eager to meet the master. The monastery gates creaked open, revealing a simple courtyard. Time seemed to slow as I stepped into this new world. In the centre sat an old man, cross-legged on a worn cushion. This, I realized, must be the Zen master I'd heard so much about. The old Zen master greeted me with a smile that seemed to hold secrets of the universe. His eyes, clear and kind, saw right through me. In that moment, all my carefully prepared questions seemed to evaporate. I felt exposed, vulnerable.
Would you like some tea?
I opened my mouth, ready to unleash my carefully prepared questions, but before I could speak, he asked, "Would you like some tea?" His voice as gentle as the breeze. Taken aback, I simply nodded. He gestured for me to sit across from him, on another worn cushion. The master reached for an old teapot, its glaze cracked with age. He began to pour the steaming liquid into my cup, the aroma of green tea filling the air. The tea rose higher and higher, nearing the brim. Still he poured. Confused, I watched as the liquid neared the edge of the cup.
"Master, the cup is full. No more will go in."
The master's eyes twinkled as he continued to pour, the tea now spilling over the sides. I flinched as the hot liquid splashed onto my hands, but the master remained steady. In that moment, as the warm tea cascaded over my hands, I understood. Like this cup, I was so full of my own opinions and speculations that there was no room for anything new.
How can you taste the tea when your cup is already full?
The question hung in the air, as heavy as the mist that surrounded us. To truly learn, I realized, I had to first empty my cup. The lesson was not in the filling, but in the emptying. I looked down at my hands, red from the hot tea, and felt my pride wash away with it. In its place, a profound sense of humility took root. The master and I sat in silence, the only sound the gentle dripping of tea from the table. Years have passed, and still I return to that moment, that overflowing cup. Each day I strive to empty my cup, to approach life with humility and openness. For it is only when we are empty that we can be truly filled. The path to wisdom, I've learned, is not a straight line, but a circle. We must continually empty ourselves to make room for new understanding. And in that emptying, we find the true fullness of life.